They thought their golden retriever was just being sweet. The word they used was sweet. That word almost cost them everything. Hazel had been part of the family for 4 years. An amber gold retriever. 68 pounds. Utterly devoted to their lives in the particular way of golden retrievers who have found their people and settled in. She greeted the mail carrier. She brought her leash to the door at 5 p.m. every day with an accuracy that impressed houseguests. She had been with them longer than their marriage had been recorded anywhere official. And when their son Owen arrived at the end of August, she had met him with the stillness that some animals show at thresholds. A kind of readiness that registered as calm. Owen was 2 weeks old when the behavior started. The family had set up a sleep arrangement on the living room floor. A low oval bassinet on a mat, surrounded by the organized chaos of new parenthood, the burp cloths, the pacifier that landed in 17 places, the half-read parenting book with a grocery receipt as a bookmark. Owen slept in the bassinet. Hazel slept on her bed in the corner. That was the arrangement. Except that twice on the second week, when his mother Margot came into the living room in the early afternoon to check on him, Hazel was not on her bed. She was lying beside the bassinet, not touching it, 30 centimeters away, with her chin on her paws and her nose pointed toward Owen's head. Margot said her name and pointed to the bed. Hazel went. Margot checked Owen, found him sleeping normally, went back to the kitchen. The next afternoon, same arrangement. Hazel beside the bassinet, nose pointed toward Owen's head, not asleep, eyes open tracking. Margot's mother, who was visiting for 2 weeks to help, said from the doorway, "She's guarding him. That's what retrievers do. It's beautiful." Margot almost left it there. Almost. What pulled at her was the specificity of it. Hazel was not lying beside the whole bassinet. She was consistently positioning her nose toward the same point, the upper right side of Owen's head, the side closer to the thin, decorative pillow that had come with the bassinet set. The same position, the same orientation, every time. On the 4th afternoon, she moved the pillow to the other side. Hazel followed. Nose pointed at the same area. New location. Margot sat down on the floor across from the bassinet and looked at the pillow for a long time. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The pillow was decorative. It had come as part of a bassinet set purchased secondhand from a neighborhood app. The kind of purchase new parents make constantly. The kind that feels fine because everything looks fine. Because the fabric is clean. Because someone else's baby slept near it and seems to have been fine. Margot took the pillow out of the bassinet and put it on the coffee table. She took a picture of it. She looked up the brand. The brand had been the subject of a quiet recall 18 months earlier. Not a headline-level recall. Not a press conference. A database update in a federal consumer product database related to a specific foam filling that off-gassed compounds, including formaldehyde at low concentrations when new. Low enough not to smell. Low enough not to trigger consumer concern. Low enough in a baby sleeping with his nose 12 centimeters from the fabric to accumulate. The pediatric emergency physician, she called. Not because she was certain, but because she was not certain. Confirmed that formaldehyde off-gassing at the concentrations associated with that specific foam type would produce a detectable volatile organic compound profile in the immediate environment around the sleeping infant. She said, "Dogs can detect formaldehyde at parts per billion. Your son was sleeping with his head 12 centimeters from a source," she said. How long had this been there? 2 weeks. There was a pause. She said, "Chronic low-level formaldehyde exposure in infants affects upper respiratory tissue. If you've caught this at 4 weeks rather than 2, we'd be looking at a different conversation. Has your dog ever done something that made no sense until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Hazel had been pointing at the source for 4 days. Not at the baby. At the thing near the baby. She had been lying down beside the bassinet and positioning her nose with the precision of something that was reading a chemical signal from a specific origin. Point. And she had followed that signal when Margot moved it. And she had done it all in silence because that is what she had available. Owen is 6 months old now. The bassinet is gone. Replaced. New. Verified. The recall database is bookmarked on Margot's phone. She checks it monthly for every product in the house she has not purchased new. Every guardian deserves to be recognized. Even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Hazel sleeps on her bed in the corner again. Owen has graduated to a crib and a different room and a new chapter of the chaos of early parenthood. But sometimes, when Margot goes to check on him before she sleeps, she finds Hazel at the door, not asking to go in, not whining, just standing, nose slightly raised, reading whatever is in the air beyond it. On those nights, Margot opens the door and checks before she goes to bed. She has not once found anything wrong on those nights. But she checks anyway. Some trust once earned doesn't need a reason. Tomorrow, the story of the Rottweiler that a father almost surrendered, and what the toxicologist's report said about the kitchen where it all happened.